Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Curtis, and today I'm going to do a review for The Oval Season 6, Episode 14. The episode picked up where the last one left off. If you all remember, Allan, he was having a conversation with Rachel on the phone, and he was telling her how much he liked her, how much he enjoyed himself that night, and she was saying that she wanted to play with herself while they talked on the phone. And so this caused him to get distracted. He ended up dropping his phone. He leaned down, so of course he's not paying attention, and he ended up hitting somebody with his car. The camera pans out and we see that the hood of the car is covered in blood, like completely covered in blood. We then see Allan. He is shocked, he is confused, he is breathing very heavily, and then we hear Rachel's voice. She asks him if he is okay, and he's like, you know what, I need to call you back. She's like, are you sure? Like, is everything good? He was like, listen to me, I just got to call you back, and then he disconnects the line. Allan then decides to get out of the car, and once he gets out of the car, he sees the woman that he hit, and she is in a pool of blood. He doesn't say anything, but you can tell he wants to scream, he wants to shout. In his mind, he's probably like, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do? I cannot believe I did this. Like, I need to call the police. And so after this, we actually go over to Donald's house, and remember Donald and Kyle, they were on the phone, they were having a conversation, because Donald was saying that he had a plan. And I think it is important to note that Lily, she's actually listening in on this conversation. Donald was just like, see, I told you it would work. I told you my plan would work. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, what exactly was the plan? Like, was there somebody like, hey, why don't you cross the street at this exact time? And then she got hit? Was it a situation where she was just standing there, somebody came from behind her and pushed her? Like, what exactly was the plan? Like, I need clarification on that. Kyle starts asking questions about the woman. And so Donald was like, listen, the woman was a junkie. Don't worry about it. Don't get yourself too worked up about it. And so Kyle was like, well, do you think that she is dead? He was like, yes, I'm pretty sure she is dead. So then Kyle was like, well, when it comes to Allan, do you think that he is going to call the police? Donald was like, I do not believe so. He was like, are you sure? He was like, I do not think that he will call the police because one, he is drunk, and two, he has to be at the White House in a couple of hours. He doesn't want to put himself through that. Kyle was just like, I don't know, man. I feel like he still may go to the police. Donald's like, trust me, he's not going to the police. He's like, how can he be so confident? And then, just like clockwork, who is on the other line trying to reach out to Donald? It's Allan. Donald tells Kyle that Allan's on the other line, so he needs to switch over. So he does end up switching over to Allan. And Allan tells him that he believes that he hit somebody with his car. And Donald's like, wait a minute, hold on for a second. Whoa, calm down, slow down, wait a minute. Are you telling me that you believe you hit somebody with your vehicle? I said, Donald, you ain't shit. He was like, are you really saying that you may have hit somebody with your vehicle? And I was like, yeah. He was like, do you think the person is okay? He was like, no. And remember, Lily is in the background. She's listening to everything that's going on. Allan tells Donald that he's actually looking at the body right now. So Donald's like, wait, are you still at the scene? He was like, yes. He was like, do you think anybody saw you hit this woman? Do you think anybody's looking right now? And he's like, no, I do not believe so. So now Allan's like, you know what? I need to call the police. I need to let the authorities know, like, this is crazy. Like, I cannot believe I did this. Like, I need to call the police. Donald tells him that he does not believe that that would be a good idea because he is drunk. And to me, that should have made Allan's antennas go up. Granted, Allan, he just hit somebody with the car. There's blood all over the hood. There's a body in the street, and the person is laying in a pool of blood. So he's not thinking clearly. He's in shock, so I get that. But I just hope that as time goes along, he's able to put two and two together, and he can ask himself, like, how does he know that I'm drunk? Granted, if we go back to the previous episode, I believe that Donald told him to meet somebody at a bar. So I guess he could assume that he would be drunk, but it's like, I may have had a few drinks, but why would you know that I'm drunk? Hopefully that comes out later in the season. Alan's just like, well, what do you want me to do? He was like, I want you to flee the scene. He said, you want me to what? He said, I want you to flee the scene. He was like, you want me to leave? He said, yes. He was like, but what about the cameras? He was like, boy, do you know who you were talking to? I want to get everything taken care of. Don't worry about it. He was like, are you sure? He said, yes, just leave the scene. And so he's like, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm just going to drive home. And he's like, you know what? Make sure you have a safe drive home. I said, Donald, terrible. After Donald hangs up the phone, he's smiling, he's laughing, he's gloating, and as he is doing this, he can hear a ping or some type of ringing sound, and that lets him know that somebody was listening to the conversation. And of course, there's only one other person in the house, so he knows that it's Lily. So he actually slams his laptop closed and he starts walking up the stairs. There's a quick scene after this where Sharon calls Dale to let him know that she got kidnapped, and she says that she does not know where she is. And I'm just like, well, you have your phone in your hand. Just pull up Google Maps, pull up Apple Maps to figure out where you are. I mean, you are in DC, so the furthest that you probably went was probably to Maryland. So I'm pretty sure you can figure out where you are. But Dale was like, you know what? Just send me your location pin through text, and I'll be there shortly. We then go back to Donald and Lily's house. So Donald has made it upstairs to the bedroom and he starts to confront her about listening to the call. She says she has no idea what he is talking about. He said bullshit. And then he does find the device that she was using, which turned out to be a tablet, I believe, and he does snatch it away. So she says, you know, when it comes to Allan, what are you going to do to him? He said, why do you care? Are you fucking him too? She said, no, I'm not fucking him. And just so you know, he doesn't want to fuck you either. He was like, I don't care about him. He asks her if she is working with Allan. She's like, no. He then says, you know what? I do not really believe you, but that's okay because I have this video footage that shows him hitting somebody with a car and fleeing the scene. So in the event that you were lying and that you were actually working with him, I have this video as evidence and I can use it in my favor. So this is basically insurance for me. And she's like, you don't think this is going too far? He said, no, it's not going far enough. And then she's like, you know what, when it comes to me and my family, can you just please let us go? I promise I will not say anything about what I saw. He said, no, I'm not going to let you go. I like you too much. I said, damn. There was a 10-minute filler scene after this, and let me say it again. There was a 10-minute filler scene after this, in which Hunter was trying to figure out how he can get to the Oval to get some cocaine. And basically, to summarize this scene, somebody from downstairs is going to figure out that he is going through withdrawals, and they're going to use that in their favor to try to get him out. There was a quick scene after this where Dale does pick up Sharon so she is safe, and when Sharon gets into the car, she tells him that the reason why she was kidnapped is because Kareem owes somebody $400,000. And so Dale was just like, oh shit. She was like, what? He was like, well, when it comes to Kareem, he's actually selling drugs out of the pharmacy, so that's probably where the debt comes from. And she's like, why didn't you tell me? He was like, well, I mean, it's been a long time since we've seen each other. Like, a lot has happened between that time. So she was like, I need you to take me to Kareem's house. He was like, I'm not really sure that's a good idea. She said, listen to me. Take me to Kareem's house. He was like, fine. In the next scene, we see Victoria. She actually calls Donald, and she tells him that she believes that Hunter's going to try to sneak downstairs to try to get some cocaine. Donald was like, what are you talking about? He is not going to do that. She said, listen to me. I know that man. I know him very well. He's going to try to sneak down here to get some cocaine. So she's like, I need you to give me a kilo of cocaine. He was like, what? She said, I need you to give me a kilo of cocaine. He said, wait a minute. You want me to sneak some drugs into the White House? She said, oh, please don't act like you haven't done it before. Donald tells her that they need to stick to Eli's plan. She said, listen to me. If we put some cocaine in one of those tunnels, he's going to come down. I promise you. He said, no. She was like, are you sure that's your final answer? He was like, yes. She was like, okay. Well, it was nice talking to you. Bye. And then, of course, he's just like, oh, God, this is not going to end well. There's a quick scene after this where Kyle goes to Allan's place, and he basically tells him that he is his and Donald's bitch. And to me, I probably would have just called the police and just did the jail time because the amount of years that Allan would have to spend looking over his shoulders dealing with fucking Donald and Kyle, he would have already been out of jail. So I would have just did the jail time. I'm not fucking with those two. In the next scene, we see Priscilla. She receives a call from the jail. So she's like, who the hell is this? Turns out to be Nancy. She's like, what are you doing in jail? She says, I was set up. She's like, set up by who? She's like, I was set up by Richard and Sam. She was like, for what? And she was like, Richard and Sam set me up to make it appear as if I killed Richard's father. She was like, huh? She was like, yeah, and they have a video of me killing Richard's father, but you know I did not do that. They must have superimposed my face on the person, but it wasn't me, I promise. She was like, I need a lawyer. So Priscilla was like, well, you know what? I will reach out to some lawyers to see if they can help you. And she was like, you know what? I need you to stay on the phone with me. I'm scared. I do not want to be here. But of course, Priscilla is just like, well, I can't call lawyers while I'm talking to you, right? So I need to hang up the phone so I can call them. So she was like, okay. So she was like, you know what? Let's just end the call now. I'll reach out to some lawyers and then see if I can get you some help, okay? And then they disconnect the line. And it's important to note that when it comes to Sam, he was actually listening pretty much the entire time, and he is actually standing behind her. Priscilla's looking at him like, you really got Nancy arrested? He's like, look, I don't have time for your shit right now. She was like, out of all people, Nancy, like, why would you do that? He was like, because she wouldn't listen to orders. She was like, what order? He was like, I told Nancy not to call the police and tell them what happened between her and Richard. She would not listen, so I had to do what I had to do. Priscilla is just like, oh my God, I cannot believe this. Sam brings up the fact that Nancy was fucking Richard's father. Priscilla is just like, you know, it's crazy to me how men feel like they can go out and they can cheat and it's okay. But when women do it, it appears to be a problem. Sam is just like, well, it's different. I'm just like, Sam, shut the fuck up. There is no difference. And since we are having a conversation about cheating, Priscilla brings up this woman that she believes Sam is fucking at the White House. And he's just like, are you sure you want to take it there? She says, yes, I do. So he pulls out his phone. He ends up calling his side chick. He's having a conversation with her on the phone in front of Priscilla, and the side chick says that she wishes that Sam will leave Priscilla so that he can be with her. Then she brings up the fact that they have a child together. Priscilla is just like, what the fuck? And so she gets emotional, she starts to cry, and then she asks him, how old is your child? He says that his child is 4 years old, and then he says, you know what, speaking of my child, I'm going to go be with my woman, and I'm going to be with my child, and then what you can do, you can go be with Bobby. And so I guess he felt like he told her something, so he actually walks out of the room, and then she rushes after him and actually pushes him down the steps, and that's how the episode ends. Thank you all so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. If you could, please like, comment, share, subscribe. That would be great. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye.